His name was Dylan Riley. Of course, Glass thought, he would be a Dylan. So, Riley said, you're married to Big Bill's daughter. He was lounging in a black leather swivel chair in Glass's borrowed office on the north-facing side of Mulholland Tower. Behind him, through a wall of plate glass, grey Manhattan sulked steamily under a drifting pall of April rain. Does that seem funny to you? Glass inquired. He had an instinctive dislike of people who wore T-shirts with smart things written on them. Dylan Riley snickered. Not funny, no. Surprising. I wouldn't have picked you as one of Big Bill's people. Glass decided to let that go. He'd begun to breathe heavily through his nostrils. Hiss, 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 hiss. Always a warning sign. Mr. Mulholland, Glass said heavily, is eager that I have all the facts, and that I have them the right way round. Riley smiled his goofy smile, and swiveled the chair first to one side and then the other, nodding happily. All the facts, he said. Sure. He seemed to be enjoying himself. Yes, Glass said with stony emphasis. All the facts. That's why I'm hiring you. In one corner of the office there was a big square metal desk, and Glass went now and sat down carefully behind it. He felt less panic-stricken sitting down. The office was on the 39th floor. It was absurd to be expected to conduct business, to do anything, at such a height. On his first day there, he had edged up to the plate glass wall and peered down to see, a couple of floors below, fluffy white clouds that looked like soft icebergs sailing sedately across a submerged city. Now he put his hands flat on the desk before him, as if it were a raft he was trying to hold steady. He very much needed a cigarette. Dylan Riley had turned the chair around to face the desk. Glass was sure the young man could sense how dizzy and sick he felt, perched up here in this crystalline steel eyrie. Anyway, Glass said, moving his right hand in a wide arc across the desktop, as if to sweep the subject aside. The gesture made him think of footage of Richard Nixon, sweating on the evening news all those years ago, insisting he was not a crook. The studios were so harshly lit in those days of paranoia and recrimination, they had made pretty well everyone look like a villain in an old Eastman colour movie. I should tell you, Glass said, that Mr. Mulholland will give you no assistance, and I don't want you to approach him. Don't call, don't write. Understand? Riley smirked and bit his lower lip, which made him look all the more like... what was it? A squirrel? No. Close, but no. You haven't told him? Riley said. Have you? About me, I mean. Glass ignored that. I'm not asking you to be a muckraker, he said. I don't expect Mr. Mulholland to have guilty secrets. He was an undercover agent, but he's not a crook, in case you think I think he is. No, Riley said. He's your father-in-law. Glass was breathing heavily again. That's something I'd like you to forget about, he said, when you come to do your researches. He sat back on his chair and studied the young man. How will you go about it? Researching, I mean. Riley laced his long, pale fingers over his concave stomach, and this time rocked himself gently backward and forward in the swivel chair, making the ball and socket mechanism underneath the seat squeal tinnily.